no more complaining people. Their lives are changing. We're flying high, creating a complaint-free world. No more, no more.
How to stop worrying about what other people think of you. So first and foremost, let's address why this happens. And if you are not concerned about what other people think about you, if you are not attempting to be aware somewhat of what other people think about you, you are a sociopath or a narcissist. There's something wrong with you. We should be somewhat aware of what other people think of us. And I was thinking about this morning, and a number of you touched on it in your answers. But what I came up with is there's a difference between being aware of what other people think about us and worrying about what other people think about us. Worrying about what other people think about us is just another worry experience for those of us for whom worry is a habit. It was interesting. I did a talk when I was a minister in church years ago on worry. And when I did, I looked it up, and it said that worry is a habit in people. Worry comes from I forget where it is, Proto-European. I forget the word where it comes from, but anyway, it literally means to wring, to strangle. And so a lot of us, because of our lives, because of our upbringing, because of our histories, we literally get the habit of worry. And so worrying about what other people are thinking about us is just another thing for us to add to that habitual pattern that we already have of worry. So in many cases, it's just a habit. It's another one. Can I worry about my finances? Sure. Can I worry about my health? Yes. Can I also worry about what other people are thinking about me? Yes. Now, again, this was a serious issue. It's something that I have worked on. Now, for me, I realized that I worried about what other people thought about me because I had not learned, this is going to sound terrible, but I had not learned how to behave around other people. In other words, I grew up with a lot of dysfunction modeled, and I carried that out in front of other people, and as a result, that got reflected back to me. So as a result, I thought that there was something wrong or cursed about me that would ultimately come back to me. What I realize now is that it's behavioral, and that is why I work so hard on my behavior, on being happy, on being upbeat, on being forgiving, on being considerate. So that's a lot of it. So I'm starting to feel better about myself. And that's going to tie back in to starting. I'm feeling much better about myself. I feel really good about myself. Anyway, I forget who it was. I think it was Jennifer said that we want to stay in the middle of the herd. I apologize if it was not Jennifer. Now that I think about it, I don't think it was. But I've deliberately got your comments turned off right now because I want to just speak directly to you. Here's the thing. The number one fear we have is being ostracized from the herd. The reason people fear speaking is that it can lead to embarrassment on a massive level. And it is embarrassment that we fear more than anything because we think that embarrassment is going to push us out of the herd. We have racial intelligence, friends. We have memories in our cells going back millennia that seek to protect us and to protect our DNA. And part of that is to stay together as part of the herd. One of the things I love to do is Teddy loves more than anything. I've never seen a dog who loves to go out by the water. He loves to run along the reefs. He loves to go into the water. He loves to walk down by the pier, right? So if we are walking down on the pier and we're looking in the water, the other day we saw tens of thousands of what I guess would be considered bait fish, just little fry, small fish, right? So let me ask you a question. Who is the safest in these thousands of fish, more than likely? The one in the middle. The ones in the middle. Because if a shark or a barracuda or any other large type of fish is going to come, there's two reasons, by the way, that birds and fish and human beings and other primates come together. Well, we come together for a whole lot of other reasons. Social reasons. We also come together for shared work reasons. In other words, I'm a speaker and a writer, so you don't have to be. You're a chiropractor, so I don't have to be. Anyway, the reason that these animals come together is to make themselves look bigger to predators. They literally come together, and as a clump, they look bigger. And the other thing is, so that they are protected. It's much easier for a predator to take off one little fish, because it's by itself. But when you've got tens of thousands of little fish, and they're all being aware of their environment. Did you hear what I just said? Being aware of the environment. That's really all you're doing. When you're thinking about, when you're being cognizant. So the difference between being aware, which is defined as being cognizant, and having knowledge of what other people think of you, so that you stay protected in the herd. What do I mean by the herd? Not just society, not just your neighbors, but that is part of it, but also within your own family. When you as a neighbor think about how your actions are going to impact your neighbors, you tend to be a better neighbor. Now, here's the issue that we get into. Here's why we think it's wrong to think about what other people think of us. Number one, like I said, it can just be another worry treadmill that we get on. I bet they don't like me. I bet they're going to do this. I bet they're going to do that. And for so long, I was caught on the worry treadmill. I was on that fight or flight treadmill. I got off of it by serious, deep meditation, journaling, etc. So we worry about what other people think of us simply because it's a habit. Worry's a habit that we want to break. The other reason that we do it is because we know, and by the way, if you're multitasking, come back to me. You need to hear what I'm about to say. The reason we worry about what other people think about us is we know some of the crap we think about other people. Yes. Slang word intended to get your attention. We run all kinds of crap through our minds about other people. We think we're safe and we think we're okay because we never say them out loud. However, to do this, to put on good behavior when inside, we're just being very nasty. And you can tell. You've been around. How many of you have had waiters and waitresses like that? I have, where they smile like this, and you can tell they're so actually hating and loathing you in this moment. But that smile is there. Well, that's part of the reason you're coming off that way. You really do need to work on what's going on in your head. Meditation's the best way to do it. You want to try our meditation program? Do. You don't? Try someone else's. There's a lot of them. I just noticed that my Amazon-enabled device, and I won't say her name, offers a meditation program. You've got an Amazon, you can meditate. Because meditation teaches your mind to sit and stay so that you can then choose to place it where you choose. We need to begin to allow people safe passage through our minds. If we begin to give people forgiveness and understanding and not to carry grudges and not to hate in our own heads, we will see our own world change. And guess what then? We won't worry about what other people think about us. We're too busy forgiving them for being how they are, understanding them for being the way they are, instead of labeling them and criticizing them. You see, this question that was presented, and I want to thank Michelle for coming up with this one, how do we stop worrying about it? It once again, as always, teaches us that the work is always within us. Number one, are we just a habitual worrier, and is this something that we're using to keep that mill going? Good question. The second thing is, are we criticizing other people in our own heads? Are we running this negativity in our minds, which, by the way, is a habit and a choice, both of which you can break? And number 3, are we feeling so empty inside? And this is where it can come from. And I know this is where it came from for me. I felt so empty inside that I was so concerned that people were going to find out about me. I felt people were going to realize I'm not as smart as I pretend to be, or as friendly, or as successful, or competent, or handsome, or whatever, you know? And finally, I just decided to love me and screw whatever anybody else thinks about me. Again, slang word intended to get your attention. What matters is what you think of you. So work on becoming so crazy about you that anybody who thinks anything other than you're great must be crazy. All right? So tell me your closing thoughts, if you would, before we ring off and say goodbye and get ready for our meditation group. Thank you again to Michelle for suggesting this. I've got a list of suggestions that those of you have made. I think it was actually Heather who said that it is our desire to stay within the herd. You need to be somewhat concerned, and that is to think, you know, if other people, if your boss doesn't like you, if your wife doesn't, or your husband doesn't like you, then maybe that's some good information. I remember one of my friends saying to another one of my friends, he said, somebody called me an a-hole. And my friend responded in such a great way. He says, if anyone ever calls you a word like that, it's a good indicator that you might want to look at your behavior. However, don't take it on if it's not who you think you are. That's what matters. All right, well, I'm not seeing a plethora of comments coming in, so I'm going to say bye-bye and remind you, www.complaintfreemeditation.com. The stories that I'm hearing from the people in that group of traumas, large and small, that they're going through, that they are able to overcome now that they are allowing themselves to be calm and to master their thoughts through the practice of daily meditation. Absolutely amazing. So check it out, complaintfreemeditation.com. And if you don't want to check out my program, say, Alexa, play a meditation program. Let's see what happens. I've never done this before.
The station, meditation, on Amazon Music.
There you go. Alexa, off. There's even a free program on my Comcast has a thing called Calm, C-A-L-M. Some of it's paid, some of it's not. I think it's free. I'm telling you about free competitors to my program. I don't care if you buy my program. I care that you meditate, because that's how you're going to learn to control your thoughts. All right? Once again, thank you, everybody. Thanks for being with me. Michelle says, yes, consider others' opinions, but not to worry. Great answer, Michelle. Thank you so much. All of you who are going to be with me in the meditation program, look forward to seeing you. And thank you to those of you who watch later. And by the way, click share if you would. I want to give you one statistic. We were reaching, on average, 40,000 people every 30 days. Now, that's not followers. That's numbers of people who get engaged. Thanks to you and clicking share, just like you're doing right now. Just click share right now. Wherever you are, click share. You can share this while you're watching it. Click share. Because of that, we've gone from 40,000 to almost 100,000 people, thanks to you. So thank you so much. Bless you all. Look forward to seeing you. And tomorrow I'm going to be talking again about one of the JumpStart suggestions made by you. See you then. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.
No more complaining people. Their lives are changing. We're flying high, creating a complaint-free world. No more